What's up, traders? Welcome back to the channel. So somebody asked me to analyze for them US30, and this video is going to be about that. It's going to be about the analysis for US30. I don't normally like to analyze one pair for someone, or for that matter, I normally want to come on the charts and give you trades that I expect to happen in the coming days or the coming week. So I look at different pairs and then give you possible setups that you need to look out in the coming weeks. However, this was a request from someone. I think the person is new on the channel, I'm not sure, so I'll be doing it as a favor to them. So I'm going to be analyzing US 30, and then I'm going to be analyzing US 30, and then we can know where US 30 is going to be heading next. So that being said, as usual, you guys have to subscribe to the channel. You only have to subscribe to the channel. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. So far we have 460. We haven't moved an inch from yesterday, so subscribe such that we can move to 500 subscribers, and then after subscribing I'll be coming back with analysis for US 30. So subscribe to the channel, guys. Subscribe and become part of this amazing traders, this amazing trading community. Okay guys, so subscribe, we go. 5 seconds. Okay, we shall not waste any more time. Let's go for guys, forgive me. Okay, so let's proceed. So first things first, this market, okay, the thing that you have to do in order to know the direction of the market is to look at the high time frame. When you look at the high time frames, that is when you get the real direction of the market. If you're swing trader, you're looking at the monthly, the weekly, but mostly the weekly. Leave alone the monthly, because the monthly, it will take a lot of time. It will take a lot of time to reach. It will take a lot of time to reach for you to enter the trade, because you have to wait for a monthly candle to close. That is around 4 weeks. So weekly swing trader, analyze on the weekly, verify or confirm your setups on the daily, and then enter on the 4-hour for tighter stop losses. So if you're a day trader, you need to look at the daily for your direction, then analyze on 4-hour or setups on the 4-hour, and then 1 hour for execution for tighter stop losses. And then 1 hour, you have 1 hour, you have 15 minutes, and then 5 minutes, like that. Okay, so now in order for us to know, guys, subscribe to the channel. In order for us to know where US30 is heading, we shall go to the weekly time frame to get the overall view of the market. So when you go to the weekly time frame, you see that this is a hyper bullish market. Why do I call it a hyper bullish market? It's because it is not giving a clear upward trend line. The trend line is so steep. When the trend line is so steep, there are two things that happen. The market might have reached its maximum and it is going to break the trend line, or it is going hyper bullish to the upside that it doesn't even give you where to put your trend line, because now this trend line was supposed to be here, like this, like that. So this was the first touch. Second touch, you put the trend line. Third touch, if you had put the trend line like this, third touch came and faked out of the trend line and then proceeded to the upside. So after, the fourth touch also came and faked out even further. It wanted to test from this demand zone here and then went up. So what you do, let me just put for you this weekly demand zone, that this wanted to use, this price action wanted to use that one there. However, it did not reach there. It came shy of that demand zone and started going to the upside. So now, if the market is not giving you a clear upward trend line, if the trend line is so steep, that market is hyper bullish, it is so bullish. So the mere looking at the weekly time frame, we are going to the upside. Does now that mean that we cannot sell? This is a weekly time frame. We can even have 3 or 4 weeks of selling, because this is a weekly time frame. So now we can sell, like for example, if you look at this, we sold from up here. We sold from up here to down, and these were how many weeks? 1 2 3 4 5 6 weeks of price action selling to the downside. So there was a mini pullback or mini downtrend in this upward move. So it means we can still sell in the upward market, but we shouldn't prioritize sales. Okay, so now we know that the weekly is going up. Good. So what do? We mark out our supply and demand zones. Do we see any supply zone on this area here? I can see one here that has been approached, marking it with precision. Yes, so there's a supply zone here that has been approached. Good. So now that we have seen a supply zone on the weekly time frame, and remember guys, remember this is the last high that US30 was. So this is looking like a triple top. This is one top, double top, broke down, went down, breaking this structure here, and now it has come to for a triple top on the supply zone. And you know, laws of price actions and we call them what? Market structure? Chart patterns. If you see a triple top, then there are chances that we are going down. I'm sure if you can put here an indicator called RSI, you'll see a divergence. So you people can try it in your charts, put RSI and see if there is a divergence, but I think it is there. So also people who trade support and resistance, here we are at a support, a resistance zone here. Resistance zone. Why? Because price, whenever it taps here, it drops, tapped, it dropped. Now it has tapped here, but it is still within that supply zone. So there are two things that we are expecting. We expect, since it is the last high, we are expecting a little retracement up to here and continue buying. Why do we continue buying? Because this is a bullish market on the weekly time frame. So I think I'm done with the weekly, so we'll proceed to go to the daily. Remember, it is top down analysis with supply and demand. So we go to the daily. So now on the daily, what do you see? You see this big inverted head and shoulder that led price to go to the upside, and price came, tapped into this area, the weekly supply zone, and gave a reaction which dropped to come and react from this demand zone here. Came to react from this demand zone here, which it reacted perfectly and moved to hit the target, which is the previous high. That one has hit. This is the daily. This is the daily time frame. So now we have a place of support and resistance here, and there is also a demand zone. Very good demand zone that will take any day. So this is resistance broken, turns into support with a demand zone. Mark that zone very well, like that. That is one. So if this supply zone holds on the daily, if it holds, then we are going back to this level. This is where we're going to be buying from after a mini selling momentum. If this zone is going to hold, How do you know that the zone is going to hold? We shall go down to the 4-hour time frame. So when you go to the 4-hour time frame, what do you see? 4-hour time frame, things are not looking good. Why do I say things are not looking good? Because we have broken this previous high. Yes, it is not a significant break, but if you look at it very well, okay, it was a rejection to the upside. So in the 4-hour, that is when we are going to be looking for sales. How? We shall wait. If we are going to sell to here, we shall wait for price action to come and take out this low. So if price comes and respects this demand zone here, because there's a demand zone around here, broke this structure here, left a demand zone, there's a demand zone down here. So if price comes and respects this area, there's also another mini one here, support, resistance broken turns into support. There's also another mini one here, but this is not one I would go for. So if price comes and respect this demand zone, we'll wait for it to come and break this high, and we can start buying. But if it comes and if it breaks if it comes and breaks this demand zone to the down, we shall wait for a supply zone that has led to the breaking of this demand zone, and then we use it on the pullback, sell up to this area, and then buy to the upside. So now on US30, guys, sorry, it is network. So on US30 right now, what I'm saying is I'm expecting price to come back to this area here. Then if it doesn't buy from this area, you can enter your buys on this area, but it is not one that I would recommend. However, you can use a tiny portion of your account, buy from this area targeting this high, and probably we can break it and then go to the upside. However, if it doesn't respect this zone and it breaks, that is the scenario that we want. If it doesn't respect this zone and it breaks down, we shall wait for it to retrace and use the supply zone that would have led to the breaking of this zone, and then we sell it to up to here, and then we can buy. So for now, US30, we are waiting for it to come here. It is either it buys or breaks this zone. If it breaks, we know how to sell. If it buys, if it is buying, then you'll use a tighter portion of your account, probably 0.5 or 1% of your account, to buy to the upside. For now, it is in no man's land. We have to wait for it to show us direction. However, if it continues to go up and breaks this high totally, then that is also okay. We shall use the demand zone that led to the breaking of this high to buy to the upside. Where are we buying into? We'll go back to the weekly time frame. So when you look at the weekly time frame, price was making what is it? Price was making a high, a low, and an equal high. So what do? We put this is the only time that I use the Fibonacci replacement tool. How do I use it? So we have a low, a high, a low. Price is probably putting in another high. So now this becomes a draw from the swing low to the swing high, like that. So you see, price moved from this area up to here and retraced within the 61.8 zone. That is the golden zone. So after reaching this zone, use this demand zone to buy, and it bought up to here. So what happens is, in most cases, if price does not come back to retrace, this leg from here up to here, this is just a retracement or a break of price action. So this leg from here up to here should almost be equal to this leg from here up to here. So now what is happening is we shall have half of this price action to the upside. So the adjustment would be, we shall carry this to the Next, this is 47. So the next target should be 46. It should be 47, but 47 is very far, so we just first target 46. After targeting 46, now you can come back to the daily and see. You see 46 looks like it is near, but it is far. And what is the pip count in the middle there? 100 pips. Pip count is 100 pips. So we want, if price can come and retrace to this area, then we can buy 200 pips up to here. So that is the ideal scenario for US 30. So I think that is all, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you have not yet subscribed. If you like the video, then also subscribe to the channel. So I'll be ending there. We shall meet in the next video.